Round 2 of the World Rugby Nations Cup set to resume here in the United States tonight as the USA Eagles, who moved up to 14th in the world rankings, their highest ranking in 7 years, welcome in the Sables of Zimbabwe. They come in ranked 25th in the world. Second match for each of these countries here in this Nations Cup. Ben Holden alongside former USA Olympian, USA Rugby Hall of Famer, and men's sevens head coach Zach Test. And Zach, great to be back with you as always. And weather should be good tonight. This match, how are you seeing it? What's your forecast for the match tonight?
Well, it's good to see clear skies, always to be in the booth with you, Benny. I think it's going to be, it's two different sides, right? You've got the U.S., who's a very structured team, like their set piece, like the kicking game. And then you've got Zimbabwe, who like openness, who like chaos. They like to kick counter. They like to play wide. So it's two different teams, two different styles of play. It's going to be a very interesting match we got in front of us. Assessing
the two countries from last week, starting with the U.S., what stood out the most for you in their win over Portugal?
Yeah, resiliency and composure really comes to the forefront. Coming back from some disappointing little moments, you know, the try over the maul that didn't get touched down, but then the resiliency and the composure from Chris Helsenbeck and the group at the end of the game to go win it.
How about on the Zimbabwe side? And by the way, we're hearing they have up to 400 fans that are going to be right behind their bench area tonight. Big Zimbabwean population in Charlotte. What'd you take away from that match? We had a chance to call both last week. They lost by 10. What was your takeaway from it?
Well, they are a dynamic and dangerous side. If you give them a seam or a sniff to take, they will take it all day long, and they can put an 80-meter try at a blink of an eye. And so this is going to be a group that is hungry. You know, this is a team that they haven't faced before, so they're going to throw the kitchen sink at the USA.
Yeah, first time these two countries have ever met. The United States 2-4 all-time in countries from Africa. They beat Tunisia, they beat Kenya, they've lost 4 times to the South Africans. In Zimbabwe with a chance to make a major statement tonight if they were to win this match, Zach. Let's take a look at Zimbabwe and the coin toss first.
Tails.
Yeah, so we're going to receive that side.
So you start that side?
Yeah.
So you kick off. Yeah, you kick off left to right. Perfect. Happy with that?
Yes, sir.
You can.
Yes, sir. Okay. All the best team. Good.
Two captains there in between our referee tonight, Damian Schneider, and there are some of those contingent from Zimbabwe. We learned from talking to their head coach, Peter Bonata, there's a pretty big Zimbabwean population in Charlotte, so great for them. They'll have that on their side tonight. United States playing in Charlotte, their first go here this year. What changes for them on this pitch?
I don't think much changes. I think they have to stay structured, stay comfortable in their set piece. They had a great scrum in their last match, and it's going to be about control and discipline. They only gave away 4 pens conceded, so that's a really good side of their discipline.
All right, let's take a look now at the team sheets here, and we start with Zimbabwe. The biggest and most noticeable and noteworthy change, Bruce Houston goes at 10, late change because Ian Pryor's out. Who else stands out for them in your mind?
The hooker, Liam Larkin. You know, their lineout wasn't great. He's come in to really shore up that lineout, shore up that scrum. And then the 15 fullback, Mafura. I mean, this man is dangerous. He's got electricity in his shoes. The U.S. is going to kick the ball to him, so what magic can this man have?
He had 11 carries last week in their loss against Tonga. As for Larkin, his first start at hooker, he's in the range of just 10 caps, so we'll see if he can come to the forefront under some pressure. Scott Lawrence and the Eagles, who are you watching tonight?
I'm looking at the new cap, Lance William. He is a force to be reckoned with. You've seen it all year long with the MLR when he's been with the California Legion. Very excited for watch this man. He goes north-south very, very hard. Former football player, hails from the state of Hawaii. And then it's going to come back to Chris Helsenbeck. How well can he control the game? How well can he drive it with his partner in crime, Ruben DeHaas?
Helsenbeck was great last week, had 3 penalty goals, and that winner that Zach mentioned as well for the United States in a 1-point win. U.S. in the white kits they wore last week out in Denver. Jason Dom, their captain, leads them out. And the captain for Zimbabwe tonight, his first time leading this Zimbabwean side, is Tino Tenda Mavaseri. He comes out on the right. Zimbabwe in those black kits here tonight on an 85-degree night in Charlotte, North Carolina. You're not familiar, on the East Coast, on the Atlantic Ocean, in the United States, some 8,200 miles away from Zimbabwe and where the Sables call home. Always part of the international game of rugby. Young kids coming out with men and women on the women's side they look up to. It's always a big thrill for those kids, certainly, and for the players that get to come out with them.
Absolutely. It's a dream come true for these kids. You know, this is inspiring the next generation. We see a lot of good young Charlotte rugby players on screen here.
All right, so the two sides getting lined up there. The U.S. and Zimbabwe awaiting the national anthems. Up first, Zimbabwe. Always such a great spectacle, the sights and sounds of the national anthems in international rugby, inching closer to kickoff. Zach, last week we opened the Nations Cup. There were 6 matches. 444 points were scored. If you're an offensive fan of rugby, you'll love that. 74 a match. Do we see that tonight, or do you think this has a different feel to it?
I think it can go either way. I think it really depends on the handling issues on both sides. You know, both weren't the most sure in their execution last weekend, so something they've definitely trained all week. But we got 2 teams in Zimbabwe that have beat 24 defenders in their first game, and then you've also got the USA, who has an 87% tackle percentage. So you've got a great defensive team and a great attacking side. So this is going to be a great match we got in front of us.
Can't wait to get it going and see how it all unfolds here tonight. Get a look there at Jason Fraser, their flanker, and there's Nathan Den Hoot. They call him Moose. Plays in Major League Rugby here in the United States. The Chicago Hounds, 13 of the 15 starters for Scott Lawrence are MLR players. 19 of the 23 that are rostered and selected tonight are from that league. And there's another one, Big Tonga Kofe, always a guy, I love that word you use, dense. He puts a lot of dents into the opposition.
That is a very dense man. That is a hard man to bring to ground. And he's really been the anchor for their scrum. With 100% scrum completion, they actually won a few penalties, and that goes to testament to that man right there.
So let's get a look at who will officiate and who you will hear along with Zach and I tonight. Out of Argentina, very experienced. Damien Schneider worked the last Rugby World Cup in France. He's worked the Six Nations. He's worked the Olympics in 21, World 7 Series as well. Ben Breakspear, who was in the middle of last week's USA match, one of the ARs. Also Robin Kaluzniak, the other AR, and Dan Jones out of Wales is our TMO tonight here in Charlotte, North Carolina. Round 2 of the Nations Cup for these two countries underway. Zimbabwe in the black under it. They mishandle it, and there's Bisag right to it. Dom Bisag, who had a big week last week, had 12 carries for the United States and scored a try on an offload from KP Pipoletti. Can't ask for a better starter for the United States than this. Getting the ball deep inside of Zimbabwe territory. Ruben de Haas moves that ball right into the middle of the park now. Their captain there, Jason Dom, with the carry, working it to the left. Alex Maughan is the hooker tonight. Pipoletti injured, unable to play. Rufus McLean also on for the United States, and Paddy Ryan as well. Those three men all started last week. Near the line, that's Kofe with a carry in there. You hear Schneider, advantage for the Americans. Niscaro back to de Haas. De Haas then finds Dom Bisag, his 20th USA cap. He's just 21 years old.
Take a step, boys. You see it.
Kofe. He'll try to put a dent or two in there, but there's Zimbabwe. They come up with it, and they turn him over at the line. U.S. was playing advantage, though, so they'll reset for that.
Number 13, number 2 over there, okay? Take a step, please.
Yeah, great start from the USA. Just all over that first restart. Not ideal for Zimbabwe not taking that first restart, but the U.S. pounces all over it. And that man there just stopped USA's first try with a nice strip tackle from Tonga Kofe. But one thing I wanted the audience to understand, and something we talked around Scott Lawrence all week around, was he wanted to speed up the delivery of the ball. He wanted to play fast. He wanted to allow these guys to come from depth and dent the line. And I think we saw that in that first attacking set.
Sure did, with Kofe and company in there. So now we'll lock up here as we've moved into the 3rd minute. There's a good look at Tonga Kofe. Like many players in the U.S., has worked his way from another sport. Was a defensive lineman at Portland State in college football. He got offers to play overseas, and he did the last year.
Stay there.
Yeah, he's a quality man, quality rugby player. Has really grown over his career to be a really solid anchor for this USA side.
8th cap in his international career. Ruben de Haas, with the ball in his hand, leads the USA Eagles, approaching the 50 cap milestone. The last man to do that was Nate Augsburger, now retired. De Haas with ball in hand, 46th cap tonight as Schneider will reset him.
I need space. I need a gap. Give me those shoulder out. Give me the shoulder out, please. I need a gap. Don't go so forward. Thank you.
Yeah, pretty typical from referees on that first scrum. They're usually trying to find their way of finding an advantage. Referee just setting them back. Tough defending position for Zimbabwe here. They got to split the field. Allows the U.S. to have multiple options. You can see backs are all over the place. Mitch Wilson, Chris Helsenbeck deciding which way they want to go, which way they want to manipulate.
Point!
There's the restart. De Haas goes way outside of the edge, right into the hands, and it's put down. It is run out here in 26. His 8th cap, Connor Mooneyham. He puts it down, and the U.S. leads early 5-0.
Welcome back, Connor Mooneyham. Great over-the-top ball by Ruben de Haas. Zimbabwe just got a little itchy at that scrum. Wanted to push early. You can see that early push there from that loose head prop. Referees all over it. Ruben de Haas just squares up and puts an absolute pill over the top to Mooneyham for the first points of this game. The U.S. look in control here. Scott Lawrence will be happy with that start, Benny.
Sure will. DeHaas last week perfect on his passes, 81 for 81 in that department. Kicked it 17 times. Another look. And Mooneyham's a guy that he could do some serious things out there on that, usually on that right wing.
Yeah, he's dangerous on that right wing. He's got a wicked right foot step. He's also big and powerful, and he's got a lot of pace behind him. And that man doesn't fear anyone. So great person to have on your right wing.
A product of, well, not right around where you came from in the Bay Area, but he's a NoCal guy, Northern California on the West Coast, as Hilsenbeck continues to be perfect from the tee as he converts, and it's 7-0.
That man is just true composure, ice in his veins. That German background really helps him have a steady mind. He spoke about that with us this week.
Yeah, there's a good look at Connor Mooneyham, who plays in this park in Major League Rugby, played for Anthem last couple of years. His wife is from that part of the country. It was a no-brainer for him. He told me during the season here in the U.S., wanted to get back close to home with the family, so important to so many of these players. Here's the United States now on the kick. Ball came right into the hands of Makeen Ali Khan, who you talked about earlier. He's a guy that's a big piece on that back row for the United States. DeHaas to the air for the first time. Zimbabwe under it, trying to get their hands on it. They're able to off the hop now. Let's see what they can do. And here is the man that's in at number 10, was slated to come in the reserves. That's Bruce Houston. Ian Pryor, 35 years old. Got him out of retirement a year ago. Just about 3 hours ago, we got notification that he would not be able to play, so Houston gets the nod at 10. Here's their 9 this week. That's Jobert, and a bad kick that goes pretty much backwards on the bounce, picked up by Kofe. Now Wilson, Hilsenbeck now. B-Sag. Perry Mayo debuted last week. Mayo thought about the offload. Mayo still going, and Mayo will touch down for his first try as he dots it down with the United States, and the U.S. opens up a 12-point lead.
Dream start for the U.S. 6 minutes into this test match. Nice controlled, clean exit. Allows the opportunity in transition for Perry Mayo to get his debut try for the USA.
They said, could they still be honest with the mark?
Not the greatest box kick we've ever seen. Great pressure from Ali Khan, and then just batting it back. And here's where the U.S. backs loves time and space. Little slip there from B-Sag, but no panic. And this is why they brought this man. Little fend around the corner, stays in the field. It's what we've seen time and time again from his time in France in the Pro D2. Perry Mayo just being slippery, just not giving them any real anchor to hold on to. Just dropping that right shoulder and sliding in for 5. Great score.
You're a fan of the United States or a fan of international rugby for that matter, you may have seen what happened to him last week. Took a boot right in the mouth. Player that did that for Portugal did receive a 3-game suspension as Hilsenbeck eyes this one up. But now we're going to get a stoppage here. I'm going to guess that they're probably looking to make sure that foot stayed in. Oh, the kick clock ran out, I'm told.
Of course, yeah, sure.
Yeah, okay, so that's what it was.
Yeah, Chris has got to be aware of that kick clock at all times. You know, it's one thing to celebrate after a try, but we always got to move on to that next job. Again, the U.S. will want to have a nice, clean exit here, force Zimbabwe to play the kicking battle game that they're not wanting to play. They want to play transition.
Finish that point on Mayo. I sent him a text. I said, you're okay from taking that boot in the mouth? He said, yeah, just a little cut on my lip, no big deal. Amazing the toughness that rugby players, men and women, have. It's just amazes me every week. It's his first international try as Mooneyham up in the air. Ball came into the hands of Nathan Denhout there for the U.S. Zimbabwe's barely had it. They've only had it for a few phases on the last passage of play prior to the U.S. scoring the second try there from Mayo. Here's the Haas now. See if the Sables can get the ball going here. Mafura, who has it there, he's wrestled down, who Zach talked about. He had a big week carrying it last year.
Make sure you're binded, okay?
One of a trio of real danger men they've got, along with their 11 and 12 in the lineup tonight. Job in there on the stop from Corey Daniel. Nearly 160 tackles in his pro season with Old Glory DC. Was right up near the top where he's been for years in that league. Here's Wilson coming on. with speed, makes the take. Nicely done by Wilson. De Haas for Ascaro. Now Hilson back. Through the phases they go. Bisak thought about it. He's wrestled down just over the halfway line, and Zimbabwe.
First man, turnover is good. Then not gone by Zimbabwe.
They knocked it on, though. They came up with it, but they could not keep possession.
Matthew McNabb, 14 for Zimbabwe, made a great tackle over the ball. Was more excited about trying to tell the referee that he got the ball than the actual ball there. And then just a little unfortunate knock on from them gives the U.S. a scrum.
I need a gap, okay? I need a gap.
But just over these last 10 minutes, Benny, we've talked around the structure of the game. U.S. is really dominating that area. They've won 2 of their 3 kicks in the air to then move the ball wide. Zimbabwe hasn't done that great of a job, so that's something that the U.S. is going to continue to try and put their foot on the throat around. It's something that the Zimbabweans have to start getting right in this game.
Great look at it from pitch level.
Point! Set! Okay, you see it?
Ali Khan at the back to Ruben De Haas. Here comes Zimbabwe with some speed at the line. Hilson back. He keeps. He's taken down. Getting the start at 13 tonight for Zimbabwe. Dion Kumalau made that tackle. Free for De Haas. Lost sight of it. It's picked up though, but yep. Whistle from Schneider, and it's going to be Zimbabwe getting possession here.
We're offside. Gonna pick the ball.
Yeah, the first time we've seen the U.S. a little bit messy at the breakdown. They've done a great job keeping fastball fast, having players available
Thank you.
as options for Ruben De Haas there. Just it seemed like it just wasn't a clean present. Ruben didn't seem he was comfortable over the ball. And Zimbabwe pounced all over it, and then Corey Dander just came from an offside position, hence the penalty. First opportunity for Zimbabwe here. Liam Larkin.
First man.
His line-out throw is going to be critical for this attacking set.
That is Bruce Houston there, their number 10, who just set him up with that kick. They'll have it for that said line-out right here at the 22. First start for him. They were 61% last week in the line-out, but they cleaned it up in the second half, and they scored 3 straight tries. 56 minute on in a 9-minute span once they figured that out. The backup hooker tonight is Simba Mandioma, 56 caps for him, so nice weapon to have. Here they come, pulling that ball out, big size there from the big lock there. Losing Argo, who had a try last week, was good defensively. Offloaded into the hands of Gary Porter there. There's Larkin to it. Ball up in the air and tracked down into the hands of Houston. Houston, big shot delivered there from Ali Khan. The initial contact. Jobert finds the loose head prop there. Victor Mapunga. Here's Schneider, advantage over now, and here comes Zimbabwe. There's Sagauki, he's dangerous out there, and on cue, he slips around one, and the transporter, as they call him, takes it in, and Zimbabwe right back in the match.
This kid is impressive. The U.S. had him boxed into a London phone booth, and he figured and slid his way through to put the first 5 points on the board for Zimbabwe. We saw him have magic feet last week, and again, showing his special sauce here today. Yeah, it all came from dominant ball carries. There's a knock on in the tackle. Allows Zimbabwe to feel a little bit of freedom here. 20% of the time they love to swing it wide. And look at just a little left foot. And then the acceleration and just sleeking through there. And you can see how much it means to him. Great score, great response from Zimbabwe.
He is 22 years old. Second year with the Sables. Tens University in Durban, South Africa. Big conversion attempt here from Houston. It'll stay 12-5. But the transporter transports another second match in the Nations Cup, Zach Tess, and he's got a second try.
Well, it all just came from really good structured play. They got themselves going forward. Now they got the U.S. defenders on back foot. Chris Elson back over tracks. Not a good invasion tackle, but that's what he does so good, just putting people in uncomfortable tackle positions and then winning those one-on-ones.
When we talked to Peter Bonata, he said he's always performed at this level. He's like, look, I can't coach what he's doing. You know better than anyone, having been the player that you were and the coach that you are. You can't coach that kind of stuff, can you?
No, that's God-given talent. That's something that he's worked on since he was a kid.
Fancy footwork in Zimbabwe. Right back in it, a converted try down here in the 15th minute. 12-5, United States on top. Here's Gilbert's first kick, not very good. This one relatively short. The United States will have a good opportunity here. 14.5 into the match on the restart for the lineout.
As Gilbert not looking too comfortable under that box kick. We'll see if the coaches decide to have a different exit strategy on what they can do there. But Alex Mon's first throw in this lineup for the USA.
Hilton Mutariki is the
that's
nine who started last week for Zimbabwe on the reserves.
USA, please close the gap a bit. So we have 1 meter. Thank you.
Here's Mon, his first opportunity here in the 2026 international season.
Use it. Done by USA.
De Haas finds Bisag. There's Mon on the carry.
No.
De Haas back for Hilsenbeck. Here's the mark called by Zimbabwe. Sagauki was the one under it. Now they'll kick it away.
Really good stuff from Zimbabwe in back three. Nice, cool composure, catching the 22, calls a mark. His fullback gives him the instruction, hey, I got an open corner here. Good pass, good exit. That's better from Zimbabwe. That's what they're going to need to do. Cleanly exit their zone, put the U.S. near the halfway, and then be ready for the man test when it comes to the gain line.
So the second straight line out coming up here. They go short into Dom. Hilsenbeck now. Giving chase, Mooneyham. Good hands back there. Mooneyham puts some pressure on. Comes up with a big stop. Did Connor Mooneyham in there. But Schneider blowing things dead here. And Ali Khan, he getting into it there a little bit with McNabb. After the whistle, kind of stuff that can't happen.
Ali Khan just got emotions, got the best of him. They had the penalty at the breakdown, but the emotion got the best of him. Pushing the opponent. Referee had no choice but to reverse that call.
Jason, you have a penalty for holding on. Then the number 8 is completely unnecessary. He pushed the player, so I have reverted. Please control your players.
I'll let them know after retaliate.
Yes, thank you so much. Tino!
The respect
Tino.
in this sport. Now the other side.
I just spoke with their captain about the discipline.
Okay.
So please make sure your players, they don't react.
Okay.
Stay here, okay? The penalty is for you. 8. Time is on.
Yeah, that's just two players caught up in the high emotion, the adrenaline's pumping high. One thought they did one thing, one thought they did the other, a little pushing match. But something you've got to control when you've come to this international level is how you control your emotions in the chaos.
The first shove, I think, was okay, but when the jersey was grabbed, that's probably when the line was completely crossed. Am I right?
Could be, yeah. And it's always definite on what the referee sees. If he doesn't see it, usually can get away with it. If he sees it, usually going to call it.
And you mentioned it, partner, earlier, just 4 penalties against the United States last week. Anytime you're under 10, that's spectacular, but 4, that's dynamite.
It is dynamite. It's just true discipline and allows you to play the game in a very clean way.
So here's Zimbabwe now. After that call, they'll go to work again. Here's their experienced fullback back there, Tapiwa Mafura, one-time teammate of USA 9, Ruben De Haas. They both played for the Cheetahs in South Africa earlier in their careers. Big opportunity here for Zimbabwe. Down just 7 here. We have hydration breaks here in this match tonight. They're built in to the game and the broadcast here as well. Something you don't always see in international rugby, but they are in tonight. There's a lot of humidity in this part of the United States. Here comes Zimbabwe off the hands. They get the hop, but that went forward, it looked like. Yes, it did. And that's probably a good thing for the U.S. because number 11 had it in his hands again.
Yeah, you're trying to keep the ball out of that man's hands as much as you can. Zimbabwe looked like they were in 2 minds whether they want to just go through the hands or skip it wide to that electric man on the outside. That's something that they're going to have to get right in this game, because U.S. is going to give them outside space. They're going to slide across, trying to cover that corner from the inside out. But what Zimbabwe can do from a manipulation standpoint, can they sit that midfield to allow that man to do what he needs to do, or are they going to continue to play this kind of box kicking game, ping-ponging like the U.S. wants?
Instruction from Damian Schneider here as they'll line up for this scrum here. Approaching the aforementioned hydration break here in the next minute or so. There at Lance Williams sticking his head down. Zach mentioned him earlier. His debut on the USA 15 side. Played a lot of sevens rugby in his career.
Bind. Set. Okay, you need to use it.
DeHaas goes to work now. Bisak.
On the test. Tackle release. Thank you. The ball is there. No, the ball is there, 9. Use it.
Now Bisak graduating from St. Mary's a couple of months ago in Northern California. Dan Hood on the carry. DeHaas spinning back for Hilsenbeck.
Hold.
Another mark call back there inside of the 22 by Sagauki.
10 meters.
Tap and go into the boot. He sends it. Hilsenbeck back there, 10 meters over halfway. There's Mayo. Mayo could not get around there and keep his feet in the playing surface. It's a turnover on the U.S.
Mayo just not as slippery as he was on that first run. A little less confined space there.
No, you're not in front of the mark.
This kick well inside of the 22. And that's a beautiful kick turned in by Zimbabwe right there. And
the line out is not set. That's why they can go quick.
It's a 50-22.
It sure is.
Zimbabwe decided to go quick there, catch the U.S. sleeping in that back right corner. And just a great low, punching little grubber type clearance kick that just rolled beautifully. As soon as Chris Hilsenbeck got to it, it decided to bounce right out of bounds. Great execution. This is exactly where Zimbabwe needs to be. Won their first line out at the front.
Huge kick there. Here they go now.
Access is good.
So far, so good in the lineout for Zimbabwe.
Side entry.
As we told you, 61% last week. Came alive in the second half, but it let them down too many times in the opening half. Here they come. Big man with a carry there. That's Kundiona. Tight head prop there inside of the 5 again here. About 3 meters out is Zimbabwe. Trying to dig in a couple of meters away from the line. Another try, Dan Hoot's there. The Sables say they're in, and they are. You saw Larkin put his hand up in the air, and they get this one home, and it's Aiden Burnett. And we are a kick away from this match being level in the 22nd.
Zimbabwean forward standing tall at the moment. Doing a great job at line-out time, winning the simple throw to the front, staying nice and tight and low and connected in the maul. And look at their fans absolutely loving it, showing their colors. Yeah, winning at the front, nice and tight here. You can see everyone's all in, nice and tight. The U.S. just happens to slip around the side just there from Ali Khan. Therefore, he's not in a great position. He's coming from the side. This is what forwards love. 2 meters out, me versus you. Scrap, claw, and fighting to put that ball over the line.
So Burnett gets involved this week and gets one down to the earth in the try zone. The kick is good. And here in the 23rd minute, we are level at 12-12. United States, after Perry Mayo scored, had a 12-0 lead, but Zimbabwe, the Sables, coming back to get the match level at 12 here as we've hit the hydration break. 24 points here so far. Mentioned all the points last week. We're seeing it so far, Zach, as we go through the highlights to this point.
Yeah, good start for the U.S. Unfortunate start for Zimbabwe. Just couldn't take that restart cleanly. Dom Bisak's all over it. And then a little overzealous at scrum time. And just the experience of Ruben DeHaas, just understanding the situation, where his man was, and being able to execute it perfectly. U.S. dotting down for their first try of the match on a great overs ball. Connor Mooneyham, welcome back onto the 15th pitch for the men's Eagles. And just not a great kick from Joubert here. Ali Khan with so much pressure. Now they're just batting the ball back, volleyball style. Kofe to Mitchell, Mitch Wilson. And Perry Mayo's first touch on the ball coming right here. And he's just so slippery. This is what we've seen from the Pro D2 man. Just shrugging off, just getting himself nice and skinny, as we like to say. And a great 40-meter finish. You can just see he's not giving them anything, not two legs, not one arm, just nothing, giving them just the side ribs to slide through. Great score.
Advantage over for the knock.
And then this is just ridiculous. This is great attacking set from the US, from Zimbabwe. And then you put this man one-on-one, one-on-two, and he's gonna win all those matchups. I mean, what a great little left foot step. And then the acceleration right there to get back past the defenders. And you can see how much it means to him and his teammates to get the first score of the game.
Advantage offside.
And this actually came from a US reverse penalty that was all the way at the other end. The Sables did an incredible job building their way down the field for that score there.
That is where we stand. Ben Holden, Zach Test, and all of our crew. Kyle Binders, our producer, and all of our outstanding crew here tonight. Paramount Plus here in the United States and elsewhere around the world on Rugby Pass as well. Hope you're enjoying the broadcast from Charlotte, North Carolina on the Atlantic coastline of the United States on the East Coast on an 85-degree night. There's Wilson off his chest, though. The U.S. able to gather it in. Mooneyham slinging one all the way to the back. This is Lopetti, his first opportunity to carry the ball here tonight. Always tough to get him down on the floor. He's a physical player, and there's Kofe with a dent delivered there. 12 straight from the U.S. to open, the last 12 from Zimbabwe. Jason Dom there, a little bit of trouble hanging on to the ball. And he turned it over, knocked on.
Yeah, not like that, man. He's usually sure-handed, focused. Captain America there, the red scrum cap. He's kind of the anchor to the team, as all captains are, but his work rate, his passion for the jersey, his passion for the program just seeps throughout. A good counterattack from the U.S., swinging it wide. Lopetti got his first touch on the ball. Good dent. Kofe, good dent. But again, this game comes down to 80 minutes of supreme focus, and any little slip-ups could hurt you.
New look for Dom this week with that scrum cap. I don't think I've seen him in one in 3 years you and I've been together. A little bit of attention. One of the Zimbabwe players there as you get a look at that red scrum cap from Jason. And meant so much to him last week. He's got a lot of military in his family. His father served. He's got uncles that have served, lifelong members of the U.S. military. And we had a good chance to visit with him post-match last week, and you could see it, you could feel it coming through the screen and the microphone when we talked to him.
Yeah, he just bleeds red, white, and blue, and that's what you want from your captain. That's what you want from your enforcer in the middle of the park. Just little words of encouragement, little tactic changes from your captain. A bit of back and forth. First 23 minutes, the U.S. was hot to start, and then they started making a couple of mistakes, and Zimbabwe has pounced all over their opportunities, made the most of them, and we've got ourselves a 12-12 game here. With a little bit of the game in the balance. Can the Zimbabweans build their way down the field for another score, or will this great U.S. defense that had 87 tackle percentage last week and stand up tall and turn the ball over and then put the ball in Chris Helsenbeck's hands?
There's Gary Porter, the lock, number 4, needed a little medical attention. Second straight week he started at 4 for the Sables of Zimbabwe. As we'll look back, watch number 4 here.
Make sure we have a gap, boys.
Oh boy.
Yeah, that's a big hip hitting your eyebrow, and usually the hip wins.
Kofe is a large man, about 335.
Point.
Porter appears to be okay. Scrum opportunity here for Zimbabwe.
Boys, listen. Boys, please come here. We spoke pretty much about gap and space. I need stability. Both of you are responsible for that. Give me a good gap, or I want to move on into action. You understood? Stay out of the scrum with your head. You understood? Your head out of the scrum. No go in.
Yeah, but...
Let's go. Yeah, don't attack the hooker. That's what I'm telling you. Great. Let's go.
Jack Ascaro, the loose head prop there. The
Crouch.
journey he's had through rugby here in this country. DC area, grew up,
Point.
California. League here in the States, now playing in the top
Set.
14 in France. Jobert feeds in.
It's not going forward. It's not going forward.
Yeah, no team really had the ascendancy there. It was a good hit. It was a good fight. But when the
On this
pressure
side, you
can't
must
go
forward.
forwards or
You
backwards,
cannot
it's
go
always
to
going to
the
go
wall,
sideways or it's going to go up. And in that instance, we had both. The scrum going sideways and the front row popping up. We've got a good matchup here of two good front rows battling it out.
Stay bounded. Yeah.
Keegan Jobert will feed in. Mopunga, Larkin, and Kundiona, the front three for Zimbabwe. Ascaro, Mon, and
Crouch.
Kope for the U.S.
Point. Set. Okay, use it.
Burnett finds Jobert. Now they'll look to get their attack going here. Big collision there. That's a big, tough carry from
He's back on side, play on.
Musa Kenyedzi. Their number 12 was 13 last week. He is put together well.
Advantage, high tackle, number 5. Penalty
All
only.
against Dom there. Advantage
5 wide,
here
high
for
tackle.
Zimbabwe. There's the whistle. We'll reset here.
5 wide, high tackle, penalty only. Yeah.
That's the fourth penalty the U.S. has given up, matching their total from last week. It's only the 26-minute. Discipline has got to go up as the U.S. Zimbabwe isn't necessarily doing all that much on attack. They're playing either a dent or out the back to then wide. Very easy to then cover that, but it's the discipline here that has to come to the forefront. Just a little bump off there for Chris Helsenbeck, but his partner in crime, Ruben De Haas, all over it. A good dent. Just seeing that U.S. forwards weren't set there, and then he can get a good dent to get the ball rolling, fastball fast.
So here's Zimbabwe. This ball is on the tee here. Half a minute to go on the shot clock, looking to take the lead. Bruce Houston, who was not scheduled to start in this match, was scheduled to come in their reserves at their 22. Well, due to a late change, Ian Plyer no go in this one, and Houston has come in and delivered. Zimbabwe here in the 28th minute has a 15-12 lead.
Yeah, great composure there from Houston. Last two kicks have been absolutely money. The focus has to get back to the task at hand now for Zimbabwe. Their fans are loving it. The energy's there for them. But now comes the focus. Got to catch this restart, clean exit.
They go right back to work. Into the hands there, Fraser.
Take a step. 9 usage.
Zimbabwe ranked 25th in the world. The U.S. up to 14th after defeating Portugal last week. The highest the Americans have been ranked since the World Cup in 2019. Wilson, dangerous ball there for Hilsenbeck. Hilsenbeck lays back.
Taking back to the 50.
Now Mon. U.S. has given up the last 15 points in the match. In the air on this right side,
Good
up in a
competition.
battle. Mooneyham got his hands on it.
Taken back.
Manage here being played now for Zimbabwe. Look at the footwork there. Off they go. Here they go, right up the middle of the park. Looking for help out on this near side. It's down on the floor. Mooneyham got in there to get to it for the United States, but
Take a step.
Zimbabwe
No, 15.
still battling away. What a carry there from that fullback at
52,
Ginzak. He's making plays left and right. Now a chase for this ball. Tracked down by Sagauki.
Zimbabwe, keep coming back. Keep coming back. Keep coming back.
Back to Wilson now. Wilson back. Lepetti puts one down into the turf. McNabb's over there to gather that one in calmly.
Tackle release. No. Off the top
Houston
now.
in there. Now coming in is Keegan Gilbert. They're 9.
9 usage. 9.
And that one finds the seats 30 minutes into the match.
We knew Mafura was going to do something special.
Yeah.
We just didn't know when. And here's his moment. He's just so calm, just pulling defenders left, right, finally finds a seam, sees a couple of tight 5 forwards, and off he goes. Just not the best pass that was needed. He had his man heading through a seam, just didn't get the right weight on that pass. But we know what he's capable of. We've already seen it here. Will the U.S. continue to put pressure on those box kicks to give that man opportunities to do that?
So we got a TMO check being handled here by Dan Jones, product of Wales, back in his younger years, mentored by the great Nigel Owens. And we'll give you some looks here at what Dan Jones is looking at once those become available to us. As Schneider on the right looks on, here we go looking back here.
TMO review.
Yeah, you can see there in the screen, Ali Khan just coming in late on the counter ruck and just potentially looking at either head-to-head or shoulder-to-head contact.
Yes, agree.
Yeah. He's thinking that the U.S. is starting to win that battle at the breakdown, so he's coming in to help. But as that's happening, the Zimbabwean player's head just gets into that lane. It looks like there's a little bit of contact there. Let's see what referee decides to do here.
Bruce Houston was the player from Zimbabwe that took that shot. There he is. And there's Ali Khan coming in.
Mate, so what we are seeing is number 8 White is making a late arrival to that breakdown. There's head-on-head contact, immediate yellow card threshold, and no-field review. Happy with that? Happy with that?
Yeah, agreed. Yes.
Captain number 8 USA, please. Number 8. There's a late arrival from you at that breakdown. You make head contact, yellow card threshold, and no-field review. I'm going to start with the penalty for Zimbabwe over there.
So there's the verdict from Dan Jones, TMO, and referee Damian Schneider. The right call as Ali Khan has made a couple of emotional decisions, and this one is going to cost his side 10 minutes of him being in the bin.
Yeah, he definitely wears his heart on his sleeve, and you love that about the man. But also it's got to be in a really controlled manner. And here, that was the 3rd penalty on him. Just getting a little overzealous at the breakdown. But he's got 10 minutes to think about it. And now his boys are down to 14, having to defend a Zimbabwe squad that is feeling the momentum and the belief.
In this one, as you can see on our scorebug, it's in for foul play review in the bunker and could be extended to a red card. So once we get the verdict, we'll pass that on. But for now, Zimbabwe, as you say, Zach, playing a man up, leading by 3, down 12-0. They've ripped off the last 15 points. Here's Larkin. In his first start, he looks pretty good, doesn't he, as their hooker?
Yeah, that's 3 for 3. Yep. He's controlling the ball at the back of the maul really, really well over the last 4.
Young player, as coach told us early in the week. Here comes Zimbabwe now. 15 on 14, mishandled, down on the floor. Diving in there is Houston. Houston unable to get it, and it's going to be U.S. getting possession here.
Yeah, that's the rewards of the U.S. getting off the line fast. Having the Zimbabweans have their eyes in 2 places. One's on the ball, one's on the defenders that's coming to smack them. That's good stuff. Scott Lawrence will be happy with that defensive pressure shown there, especially after a yellow card.
The last round was really good. I expect exactly the same for this one. It's clear? Thank you.
The referee's been clear all day with not only the scrum, but everything that's happened around the breakdown. But an interesting position for the U.S. It's a little bit of a left-hand leaning midfield scrum, which is going to force the Zimbabwean back 3 to be up in the line a little bit, which opens up that corner space. We'll see what the U.S. tactic is, either to run it or to try and pin Zimbabwe down inside their 22.
What do you think they do?
Crouch.
I think they're going to pin him inside their 22.
Yeah.
Bind. Set. Okay, use it, please.
Clean in and out for the Haas. Hilson back. Wilson, there's the attempt to pin him, but back there again is their outstanding fullback to gather that one in, and right back to Chris Hilsenbeck. He sends the ball.
White, retreat.
Sky high.
Good competition.
The ball, and the U.S. comes away with it. Good job getting in there to win the battle. This kick, though, is going to find touch. Trying to spring Mooneyham up that right wing side.
At the end of the day, the U.S. did successfully pin them down.
First man.
Wasn't necessarily on the scrum play, but Chris Helsenbeck, so cool. Just goes up, high points it, puts it down, and then Ruben de Haas is always looking for behind space, especially with Mooneyham, who is known for his scoring ability. Great decision.
Mooneyham scored his first career try back in August of 24 against Canada with the U.S.
Time off. First man. First man. Come. Listen. You need to give me a good mark. You are moving a lot and you're closing the gap, both of you. So I give you this. I give you the mark. You stay there. You don't close the gap. You understood? Please, I need the gap. Let's go. Tidy up. Tidy up. Yeah. That's the mark. You cannot move. That's the mark. You cannot move. Stay there.
Referee once again stamping his authority on this game. Both props are kind of moving themselves around, changing the tunnel of that lineout. Was not happy with it.
Jack Ascaro for the U.S. and Victor Mopunga for Zimbabwe. Zimbabwe. Gilbert taken down by Jason Dom. 6:45 and counting remaining in the yellow card on Makeen Ali Khan of the U.S.
You see it?
Still under review in the foul play review officer's hands. A yellow at this point. Gilbert had some issues when it comes to putting that ball on his boot and into the air in a very short kick again. Good for the U.S.
Yeah, very interesting. He had Houston right behind him ready to go. Probably could have had a better angle and more time on the ball to kick it. But that's a coach's tactic. That's not for me and you, Benny. But right now is the U.S.'s time. The line out is good. The maul is good. You got to milk the time off the clock for Ali Khan. This is a great opportunity for that man, Nathan, to take charge of this line out, burn some clock, and put another 5 points on the board.
Dan Hood up to get it. Easy for pitch and catch there from Mon. You get a great look down at pitch level. 5th minute here, but Zimbabwe comes up with another victory on the defensive side. Another big win for them.
Yeah, number 5, Godfrey, just got his hand in there on the initial pull down of the lineout. Watch it here. You can see his left arm all on the ball, making it very uncomfortable for Alex Mon there. And then just as it's coming out, rips his hand. Alex Mon drops it. Knock on. Zimbabwe ball. That's just experience defensively from that man. Great work.
Godfrey Muzanargo making that play for Zimbabwe. Less than 5 minutes remaining in this opening half in Charlotte, North Carolina. U.S. will play here next week against Spain, but right now they got their hands full with Zimbabwe. This would be the biggest win in the history of their country if they were able to pull this off.
You think they're dancing now? Wait till that win comes through. They're going to be doing a whole different type of party.
A lot of match to go, but I'm just saying it would be the biggest victory in the history of their country in the sport of rugby. Look at the faithful they've got there. Peter Bonanno said, yeah, we're going to have a few fans there. They've done better than a few fans there.
Advantage.
Great to see in the international game. Here's Zimbabwe now up by 3. 4.5 to go, playing a man up. Way outside. Mayo out there.
Advantage high. 9.
High tackle on the U.S. Advantage for Zimbabwe.
11. Number 11.
Yeah, Zimbabwe heard they had the penalty advantage. Knowing them, of course, they're going to swing the ball wide to put in their danger man's hand. Perry Mayo stood the test of time, got his man down, but unfortunately had a little bit of a seatbelt tackle.
Not now.
Allows Houston just have a little banana kick, putting the ball down inside the U.S. half. They've got a man up now. Just had some real good ascendancy at scrum time. They'll probably look to do the same here at the Mall.
Stay on the mark, please.
Condense down U.S. defenders.
How many? 5?
And let their dangerous outside backs have a crack.
Time off. Yeah.
Yeah, we're going to listen in here.
Okay, thank you. So I have a decision. If there is a recommendation, we stay on yellow card. There's high degree of danger, but there is a movement, so that there's a blind indication, so we stay in yellow. Okay, happy? Thank you.
So certainly a sigh of relief for the U.S. as Ali Khan's 10-minute yellow will stay that, no red.
Yeah.
You feel that's the right call?
Yeah, you could hear the mitigation he was talking around of the Zimbabwean player having movement. They're both at a low angle. Yes, there's a degree of danger, but there's some mitigating factors there.
So what I was going to say before all that took place there was Schneider down on the floor. Larkin gathers. Larkin and Houston, two guys that we talked about when we came on the air. They've played really well for Zimbabwe so far tonight.
Yeah, they really have. They really stood up and made their mark and impact in this squad. They can see the reward being up 3 points. The closing seconds here of the first half. Wasn't the cleanest line-out maul we've seen from Zimbabwe. They've been pretty good all day. U.S. finding a way of swimming through the middle and disrupting that ball, which is what they want to do again in the next instance that they've seen it. But here, the front row's really got to pack down and try and hold as much as they can to force the ball to get into the back's hand so the U.S. defenders aren't feeling like they're going backwards.
Zimbabwe came right from Denver last week, went to Charlotte, trained at the facility the USA Eagles train at for their men's 15s program. So
crouch. Point.
Second week here in the United States for them, leading by 3 here in the final 2 of this first half.
Okay, use it.
Keegan Gilbert. Miscue there. Ball is knocked on, and DeHaas will take it. Ruben puts a good boot into this one. Sagauki back there. There's Wilson. Sagauki steps on the gas, tries to cut her on Mooneyham. Lepetti came in and knocked him down to the floor. Even with 3 guys around him, it's no guarantee you're going to get him, as we saw earlier. That's a win for the Americans here. Obstruction called on Zimbabwe.
Yeah, that's 2 timing issues in 2 different instances that have really hurt Zimbabwe. The first one, they tried to do a little tricky short line to then a double wrap out the back. Handling didn't go right here. It was just a simple little tip pass off the forward pod, getting ahead of each other. That's 2 errors that have put the U.S. in the position of Chris Helsenbeck kicking for a 5-meter line out and really flipping the script in these last 3 minutes here.
3-point deficit facing the United States. Mon will trigger this line out. And the nod here tonight, Shiloh Klein. He's the replacement hooker. No Pipoletti tonight. Dom took that low on the feed. Dom in the middle trying to hold this thing together. Zimbabwe trying to hold up. You hear their faithful getting into it behind their side. Kofe comes in at the back.
Still moving.
That's Mon still with it. Can you get it down to the ground? Ball spilled out of there.
Goal line dropouts. Goal line dropouts.
Wow.
Cross forward, inside the goal. Goal line dropouts.
Number 5, Godfrey did it again.
I was there was nothing.
Swam through the middle. Was able to get both hands. You can see him and Mon are fighting for the ball. Finally, when Godfrey lets go, Mon tries to spin through and knocks the ball on.
That is their captain tonight, Tino Tenda Mavaseri. Tough customer in there along with Muzanargo.
The color I see it on the jersey. Do you have anything
into the red here in the first half. The card time on Ali Khan has expired.
Okay, so you recommend the penalty for the action against a Zimbabwe player? Which number it is, sorry?
TMO have seen something in that driving ball.
Sorry, Dan, can you confirm the number of the player? Listen. There's a pulling on the collar by number 3, USA. Sorry, is the Dan, can you confirm is 3 USA? I can't hear you. So 3 USA is pulling the player out of the maul, so I'm going to restart with a penalty for Zimbabwe here. Time is off.
So 3 for the USA is Tonga Kofe, who they're talking about here.
Okay. So listen. The TMO is calling because number 3 has pulled the player out of the collar, so that is a dangerous action. So I'm going to restart with penalty against number 3 for that action. Okay. 3, pulling the collar out of the mall, dangerous. Yeah. If you want to stop it, you need to tap it first, okay? Thank you. Okay.
So Zimbabwe content. They said, yep, we'll take the lead into the halftime break. Zimbabwe on top of the United States here at halftime from Charlotte, 15-12. Round 2 of the World Rugby Nations Cup here in a tight one at halftime. A 3-point lead for the visitors from Zimbabwe on top of the United States. 15-12. Ben Holden, Zach Test with you on the call of this one. And Zach, the U.S. got out to a dream start. A try from Mooneyham in the 4th, a try from Mayo in the 7th. But then Zimbabwe, they came alive and they've scored the last 15 points in the final minutes of this first half.
Yeah, the U.S. started really, really strong. They played a very structured game. Zimbabwe had a few errors that they pounced all over, and they were very, very disciplined. They really gave up no pens conceded in that first 10 minutes. But like you said, partner, then the script just flipped on its head. The game got more open. The U.S. started giving away penalties. Zimbabwe did their best at set piece time, getting their scrum right, getting their line out right. And then they've got these dangerous players. If you give them an inch, they're going to take a mile, and that's really what we saw. So this has really been kind of a tale of this 2 parts of this first half, was the U.S. dominating, getting undisciplined, and now the Zimbabweans are taking advantage of undiscipline from the USA.
Edward Sagauki, and I'm going to throw this out at you. If you're used to American football, you'll understand this. His feet remind me of Barry Sanders. That's what his feet remind me of. Penalty count, to your point, 8-2. The U.S. had 4 last week, 8 tonight, including a yellow card on Ali Khan for just a play that it happens, but he gets a yellow. He had another penalty that was an emotional penalty. Just 2 for Zimbabwe. They're playing their game tonight.
They are playing their game, and those 8 penalties is one of the reasons why they're losing this game right now. That Ali Khan emotional penalty really flipped the script and allowed Zimbabwe to build themselves all the way down the field and score that second try to level the game. And that's what Scott Lawrence is going to be talking to him at halftime, is get back to our structure. Let's get back to our discipline. Let's keep our emotion in check, and let's play us. Don't allow them to drag us into their game.
Second weekend of the Nations Cup. U.S. won last week over Portugal 30-29. Zimbabwe lost by 10 against Tonga 36-26. Both those matches in Denver, Colorado. We move into the Eastern time zone, a couple hours ahead from out west there in the Mountain time zone here in the United States. And you know, this is a big match for both these countries. They're all big, let's be honest. In the Nations Cup, they're playing on the table, they're playing for points. The U.S. got 4 last week, didn't get the try bonus point, but they got 4 in the end. But in the world rankings, pretty darn big too, because the U.S., if they were to lose this match, could fall as many as 5 spots. And as we talked about, if Zimbabwe were to pull this off with all their faithful there, this would be the biggest win in the history of their country in rugby.
Absolutely. There's a lot of chips on the table, and they can either fall for you to ascend or descend. And I think that's what the fear that's coming into part of the U.S. group right now that they have to gain control of is, you can control what you can't control, and that's the next 40 minutes in front of you. Zimbabwe is going to do the same thing. They're going to throw the kitchen sink at you because they've got really nothing to lose. The U.S. has a lot to lose in 5 places.
Yeah, we'll see how it all unfolds. Both these coaches, Peter Bonata, the head coach of Zimbabwe, Scott Lawrence, head coach, of course, of the USA Eagles. Those men in with their staffs, talking to their players, making adjustments at the halftime break here in Charlotte on an 85-degree night on the Atlantic coast of the United States. Zimbabwe on top of the United States, 15-12 as we step aside momentarily. Zimbabwe, a 3-point lead here at halftime. 15-12 is our score. 2 USA tries in the opening 7 minutes, but then Zimbabwe, they scored on 3 passages to take a 15-12 lead on a couple of tries and a penalty goal kick. Well, it all started here on the opening kick. This led to Connor Mooneyham getting a try in the 4th minute. Dom Bisag down there. Quick restart there. The violation in the scrum. Ruben de Haas delivers an absolute perfect strike. The try assist for de Haas there to Connor Mooneyham. His first try of the 2026 season. Always dangerous out there on the wing is Connor Mooneyham. And then Keegan Jobert under pressure from McKeen Alikhan.
Advantage inside the 10.
Tonga Kofe tracked it down. Mitch Wilson started. Hilson back then. Out to Bisag, and then Perry Mayo did the rest there for the United States. His first international try for the U.S. 12-0 there. Chris Hilson back. There was a mishap there with a kick clock. He never got to kick the conversion. And Zach, the U.S. had a 12-0 lead, but look out, here comes the transporter.
Yeah, this man is so dangerous. In a phone booth, left foot step, the acceleration to get around 2 USA defenders is unreal. The head coach was telling us that he was built for this level. He was built for this moment, and you can see how much it means to him. The Tiger fist pump to finish it off. And this is what the forwards love to do, just a ground and pound game, knowing they've got advantage, know they can throw the kitchen sink at him. And right here, just lowering the shoulder, getting your defender to one side, and allowing you to place the ball. Great score from Zimbabwe there.
That was Aiden Burnett getting the try there. And what a story this guy's been tonight. Bruce Houston, a late change into the starting lineup for Ian Pryor, and this guy's looked like a cagey vet.
Yeah, totally. Looks like he's got 100 caps under his belt, understands what he needs to do.
And that's where we stand at halftime. What's grabbing your eyes the most, partner, from all these numbers on page 1?
Well, the U.S. has won the territory game. We knew they were going to do that, but it's really the pens conceded that's doing it for me. 9 penalties conceded by the U.S. That is just way too high for where they need to be in international rugby game, and it's why this contest is so tight, and credit to Zimbabwe for taking the most of their opportunities.
Yeah, 9-3 in that department. The turnovers, Zimbabwe, they did great in that department last week too, finding a way, having a knack at getting the ball and enforcing those turnovers. And on page 2, Zach, what stands out the most for you?
Zimbabwe has cleaned up their line out. They've won all 4. They've really let that mistake from last week go and really fix that. And then it's just been an even contest. So it's really going to come down to discipline from both sides in this second half.
So those are the key numbers here in the opening half. 40 minutes in the books. Round 2 of the Nations Cup, the USA and Zimbabwe. Charlotte, North Carolina. American Legion Memorial Stadium, the home of USA Rugby on the East Coast. Sevens programs out on the West Coast, and Chula Vista out there near San Diego. And sitting next to the Olympian, the USA Hall of Famer, and the man that coaches the men's 7 side, Zach Tess. Ben Holden with you. And Zach, a couple of years ago or last year out in California, we saw the Kenya corner, but the Zimbabwe nation, they're repping here in the U.S. now in this match. That is wonderful to see in the international sport of rugby.
Yeah, they are bringing the vibes. They are bringing the good times. They are bringing the togetherness and the values of this great sport. And it's just so great to see all these different nations coming together for this World Rugby Nations Cup, playing this game, enjoying the weather, enjoying each other, and enjoying some great rugby.
It is the middle of the night back in Zimbabwe, in Harare, the capital city of Zimbabwe, over 8,200 miles away. And I said to Peter Bonata, I said, how much does your country pay attention to this back home? He said, they're going crazy. They love it. They're tuned in, they're watching, proud of this group. It's been over 30 years since Zimbabwe has qualified for the Rugby World Cup, and that is part of why World Rugby got this Nations Cup together. Champions Cup going with 12 other countries, 6 nations, many of the other top countries around the world, South Africa, New Zealand, to name a few. But in the Nations Cup, it is all these other sides that are qualifying. It's a great thing for the 24 that are qualified next year to go to Australia to take part in this year.
Absolutely. Like the more competitions, the high-level competitions and people that you're going to see at the Rugby World Cup, preparing for that, getting your game plans right, understanding your squad numbers, who you want there. This is a great opportunity. And talk about a uniform. That is one heck of a uniform from that man.
He's got the beer holster going. He is ready to rock and roll in the U.S. Let's talk about the U.S. side. You mentioned the penalties. Is that the biggest thing you'd be talking to your team about in this situation? Is there anything they need to do tactically to shift things up in your mind?
Well, discipline for me means they've got to shore up their handling errors. They've got to shore up their penalties. But it's also the cracks in their kick chase wall. Mafura had a sniff at it. I mean, one pass, and that could potentially another 5 points for Zimbabwe. So if they're going to play this kicking game where they're going to try and pin them inside their half, pin them inside their 22, their wall of defense has to be impenetrable.
Zimbabwe finding a way. They were down last week in that match with Tonga, remember, 19-5. And it was a match that I think you and I were kind of talking about it at halftime, like, well, if they don't do this, they don't get it going. And they did, and they got it going. They had the lead, so we'll see if the USA can respond to what you're talking about this week, albeit just 3. But the way this match started, you thought it might be a runaway, but it has not turned into that. It's turned into a tight one here with 27 points on the board at the halftime break after in the first 6 matches last week, they averaged 74 points a match in those 6 contests. Georgia won again today as well. They have been really good for so many years, a really strong rugby nation over there. And Zimbabwe back on the map in the World Cup, and their fans enjoying it in Charlotte, North Carolina tonight. U.S. fans as well, inching closer to the start of halftime. We'll get going in a few moments here from Charlotte with Zimbabwe on top of the United States by a score of 15-12. Keen Ali Khan's yellow ended before halftime, so we're 15 aside when the second half begins.
They know the task. They know the opportunity.
Looking for that history, that victory, that moment to make their nations proud.
Blood, sweat and sacrifice.
This is the stuff of dreams. And it's a brilliant try in the corner.
Portugal, the Braves!
First blood, Romania!
It's on for Manu Samoa.
The Georgian Globetrotters. They flick the switch.
A little bit of magic.
A moment to savour.
Rip roaring rugby. And this place has erupted.
That should do it. That should seal it. This kid here can't fly.
This is their DNA. This is their moment.
Tries to step aside the offload, brilliant.
But look at the big boy. Go rumble and get you some, son.
Just drink in these moments.
Just about set to begin the second half. Ben Holden alongside former USA Olympian, USA Hall of Famer, and men's sevens head coach Zach Tess. Kyle Binders, our producer, and all of our outstanding crew bringing you the broadcast from Charlotte, North Carolina here on a Saturday night in the U.S. Great look at downtown Charlotte, the skyline on a beautiful night. Weather is doing what it needed to do when this match started, agreeing and letting these two countries take part and play through this so far on a beautiful night. And even Gilbert, the 9 for Zimbabwe, top by 3 here. USA, Jason Dom, Tonga Kofe getting set to begin here. As I mentioned before the last break, back to 15 aside as Makeen Ali Khan's yellow had expired just before the halftime break. Is Jack Ascaro trotting his way back, and there is Zimbabwe Nation. They are lined up, and I had no idea when Peter Bonata told us. He said there's a big Zimbabwean population in Charlotte, and it is among one of the biggest Zimbabwean populations in the United States. Quite a fair amount in California, but on the East Coast, pretty big center there of folks that have made their way over to the United States from that African country down south that borders South Africa. And their fans letting their voices be heard and known tonight in the U.S.
Yeah, definitely. You can, anytime they get a big tackle, anytime they get a half line break, you can hear the roar of that corner starting to get louder and louder.
Great to have you with us wherever you're watching, here in the U.S. on Paramount Plus and elsewhere around the world on Rugby Pass as well.
All good? Ready?
Always a pleasure and an honor to be a part of the international broadcast here for World Rugby. Zimbabwe will kick it away here in those black kits here, and the second half is underway in Charlotte. Keen Ali Khan, the take, gets outside of the 22 for the Americans.
Take a step, take a step.
Yes, sir.
Damian Schneider is our referee. You'll hear him throughout.
Take a step.
Native of Argentina, Ben Breakspear is one of the ARs, along with Robin Kaluzniak, and Dan Jones is our television match official tonight. Ruben de Haas there is
on the line,
46th cap for the USA Eagles tonight. Line out here, they go short right into the hands of Mapunga, the loose end prop. Here come the Sables of Zimbabwe.
Knock on advantage.
Here's Schneider saying.
Taking back to her 50. Take a step.
To halfway and down into the hands of Ruben de Haas now. Mayo down there initially, getting that contact right in perfect timing on Mafura down there. Zimbabwe stays in. Good job by Larkin to keep that alive. Good offload there, and a big heavy run right into Wilson. About a 10-meter gain there for the Sables, and they are still turning and burning, but Schneider whistles them down. Headed for the try zone there was their captain, Mavaseri.
So advantage over for the Nakoni in the tackle there, okay? To run a couple of meters.
Wow, a lot to unpack from that series of play. Zimbabwe like these little sneaky lines coming off the breakdown, just a sneaky little pick there. Knowing that his inside support of his captain is there. Unfortunate, just a little bit forward. Otherwise, it would have been a breakaway try for Zimbabwe. But the U.S. looking much better defensively. Had a really good stunt tackle to create that first turnover. Really are looking to fire through the breakdown to cause a little more chaos at the back there. They got to shore up their stuff around the breakdown, making sure they're cutting off offload lanes.
Perry Mayo there, the left winger. Second try in the match for the U.S. after Mooneyham scored in the fourth. Mayo scored in the seventh.
Okay, get ready to use it.
Ali Khan picks it up, finds B-Sag. Haas inside with it there.
They're not on the ball. Am I on? Am I on, sir? No, take a step. Take a step. Okay. He's
skyward off the right boot of Ruben de Haas. McNabb up in the air, came down. This one a fine touch. Robin Kaluzniak right there. No indication yet. He's going to say U.S. has possession. Here was the initial signal.
Yeah, great aerial contest between two great back three players. The timing was incredible. You can see them both going up, trying to high point it. That's always a tough collision on the floor. Yeah, going into it. Wingers take the brunt of it. And then Larkin trying to make his messy impression.
Good.
Mayo for the U.S., McNabb for Zimbabwe in that collision. Into the Charlotte Knight coming down into the hands of McNabb. Dropped pretty quickly there.
You see it.
Keegan Gilbert. Hilton Mutariki is in their reserves, who started last week, way more experienced They need to turn to him. They likely will in this second half at the 9. Now Mayo. Barry Mayo trying to cut inside. He does! Mayo inside of the 22. Trying to get through 2, and he's dropped about 6 meters away. Big carry from Mayo there. But they don't release in time.
What a break from Perry Mayo. Again, dropping that left shoulder through, getting nice and slippery and skinny through that seam. Unfortunately, I think his teammates were like me and you, Benny, and they were just watching. Late to that breakdown, allowed Zimbabwe to scramble back. And a great turnover 5 meters out from their line. Both teams showing what they can do. But the U.S. is right there, knocking on the door. They just have to find the ability to finish these moments. Helsenbeck with a great take. This is why they brought Perry Mayo on board. This counterattack. Watch, dropping that right shoulder. Nice little fend. Looking for support. Good tackle from Zimbabwe's back 3. But Ben Houston just holds on to the ball. Gets both hands on him and Mafura. Just a good cover tackle. Both of them back onto their feet and onto the ball there.
Mayo last year had 11 tries in 22 matches playing over the D2 in France, so obvious ability to score. And unfortunate for the United States there after what Zach walked you through and what happened afterwards. Here's a dangerous man. That one looked up high. Indeed it was.
Time is off.
And there's the fullback
So, Jason,
again.
we have an accumulation of foul play penalties, mate. So in the first half, we have high tackles. The tackle on the shoulder charge there, then they pull it off the collar. Give me one space, please. Give me some space. Now we have this penalty. Okay. Discipline needs to improve in this area. Yes, if not, you force me to make another decisions. Have a word with the boys. Thank you.
Yeah, Makeen Ali Khan once again not getting his discipline right. U.S. defense did a great job on their kick counter defense. And a nice solid wall. Didn't give Mafura really much space to do anything. He tried to step back off his left foot twice. All they needed was a good quality chop tackle. But McLean just went high with a seatbelt tackle and now gives Zimbabwe free territory.
Keegan Gilbert has checked out at the 9. Mentioned him a moment ago. Kudzwa Musingwini is now in at the 9, number 23, his 10th cap for Zimbabwe. And his story gets a little deeper. He's currently studying and playing rugby in the college ranks here in the U.S. for Wheeling. It's a powerhouse program, whether it's 15s or 7s. What an opportunity for this kid.
Yeah, that program is on the up and ups, Wheeling, and he's a big part of that. And he's looking to make his big stamp here on the international scene with his team up 3 points.
So he's into the match here, and now Zimbabwe in primetime position here. 21 meters from the U.S. try line. The throw a good one into Porter. Larkin's been great in his first start at the hooker spot for Zimbabwe tonight. Burnett wants it. Larkin dragging him. Burnett's already got one try. Larkin breaks away.
Advantage
here for Zimbabwe. Spun back by Musingwini. To the edge, McNabb's out there. Battle for it in the air. Wilson gets over there. But I don't believe he saved it, did he?
No, he didn't save it, but Zimbabwe had penalty advantage. Yep. First one came from Jason Dom. Jumping across as you hear the referee talk around. And then Alex Mon coming through the side at the maul, trying to tackle the guy, not coming through the... Swimming through the middle. So back-to-back pens puts the U.S. at 12 penalties through 47 minutes of play.
Yep. Just 3 against Zimbabwe.
Time off. 2 USA off. 2.
Sounds like Scott Lawrence making a change. Sounds like Alex Mon coming off. That would mean Shiloh Klein would come in. There is the aforementioned Shiloh Klein. 8 tackles last week, had a couple carries, got high praise from his head coach. We talked to him earlier in the week.
Yeah, he was solid in his impact coming off the bench. He really helped elevate that squad in that last 20 minutes to win that victory.
Zimbabwe here in the 49th minute. They are threatening again. Up by 3 here. No points have been scored here in half number 2 yet. All 27 coming in the first half. Larkin's got it. right arm. There's Lance Williams. He broke right off the tackle, though. Mooneyham chopped him down low. Now the U.S. comes up with it. Ali Khan. The ball finds his hands. Huge turnover for the United States. The Haas turning, looking. Dom's there, but Ruben's going to send it into the sky with the right.
What a back row impact right there.
Yep.
All started with Lance Williams. Just being an absolute menace, swimming through the breakdown, causing absolute chaos at the back, forcing the hooker to peel out early. Great chop tackle. And that's why Ali Khan's on the field, is to steal ball like that.
This one tapped back into the hands of their captain, Mavaseri. This guy is a unit. Wide, strong, can do it all. Back for the loose head. There's a punishing blow. Welcome into the match, Shiloh Klein, as Mupunga ran right over him. Here comes Zimbabwe again. That was Fraser. Dan Hood in there on the clean out. Musanguini running as the scrum half, wearing 23. Now Houston inside, short little ball there from Mudza Kenyedzi. There's that fullback's been so good. Going to chase one into the corner. Can they get there? I don't think so. Awful close, but it did not look like he was able to get that down. Good play and good instinct, though.
Happy with that.
Yeah, Zimbabwe's feeling themselves, feeling like they can kind of do what they want. Pick through the middle, play short side, change direction. This ball almost stays in bounds.
6.
And a back 3 collision in that right-hand corner. Just goes out before the goal line. So that'll be a 5-meter lineup to the U.S. under big pressure now. Their backs inside their try zone.
Indeed. Lance Williams, his USA debut here tonight. Shiloh Klein will throw. Brandon Harvey is checked in and replace Lance Williams. And Hood up to get it. United States, as Zach said, up against it. Larkin first to the ball carrier. Was in the hands there of the U.S. Now they're under pressure again. De Haas had to kick this thing away. There's McNabb. Here they come again. Sagauki, this guy is a try waiting to happen. If you don't know where he's at, you're going to get burned. Malo the carry there. Musanguini. Back for Fraser. Tom in there on the stop. Musanguini. Work back. Dangerous play there. Forcing him back. Zimbabwe gets back on the ball. The second half has been in this end of the pitch. Musanguini trying to get his hands on it. Does. Larkin. Turned over. Knocked on. U.S. gets it back.
Yeah, these little inside passes, these little out-the-back passes aren't necessarily going to hand or going flat in the way that Zimbabwe really needs them to do. And they had a great structured play, hit the front pod, pull it out the back. They had space and numbers available, just didn't go to hand. Here, just a little inside pop to his inside friend on that forward pod. Goes forward, or was a little bit of a knock-on. Zimbabwe have the momentum, have the belief on their side. Again, shooting themselves in the foot, kind of like we saw last week against Tonga.
Substitutions continuing on both sides.
Let's go. Zimbabwe, let's go. USA,
Net has checked out. His shift has ended for the night. Replaced by Simba Siraha. He's wearing number 20 tonight for Zimbabwe.
Water off, boys. Water off.
Yeah, continues to be a 3-point lead for Zimbabwe. Sorry, Zach.
Both head coaches trying to find at this 50-minute mark the best opportunity to provide some really good impact off the bench, some fresh legs. They've understood what the timeline of this game has been, the ups, the downs, the corrections need to happen. And one of the best friends that you have as a head coach is that impact off the bench. You're sending in your messages, you know the boys that you have, and in them we trust.
Nafi Maafu is checked in. He came in to replace Makeen Ali Khan. Scrum here for the United States. De Haas the feed.
Set. Yep. Number 1, white. Keep your bind up. Keep it straight. Let's go.
All little cohorts of each pack, each back line are having their little discussions around what they need to do to put themselves in the best position. Would be surprised with a Jason Dom 8 pick to the right-hand side, get them going forward. And a nice bomb from Chris Helsenbeck.
Bind! Set! Okay, advantage. Penalty advantage.
Advantage for the U.S. here to the edge. Popped over the top, giving chase out there, but it's gathered in by Zimbabwe, and the whistle for the reset.
Yeah, Perry Mayo understanding the situation. Those are the best opportunities for those little chip kicks in behind. Bounce the ball could go your way. Free play, doesn't go. Come all the way back to the penalty.
Sorry.
U.S. forward pack flexing their muscle there. Just nice and patient. They started to get the ascendancy. It kind of stopped, but they just kept digging and driving and finally got the pressure in the right place to drive Zimbabwe's pack back and win this penalty. Good response from an uneasy first 13 minutes.
Yeah, well said. A kick to set him up here. And no points so far in this second half. Line out will take place there. Dom there, a little bit of instruction there for Mapu.
Yeah, one of those things with an uneasy kind of first 10-minute start is go back to the simple things. Go back to the foundation. Get yourself back going forward, feeling confident, and then you can open up the playbook again.
Klein in for Den Hoot. Now Hilsenbeck. Dom Bisag, nowhere to go for him. Mayo working it back. Hilsenbeck on the carry. De Haas knocked down to the seat of his pants. Gathers himself, worked it back to Klein.
No.
Stumbled a bit there, and now
inside. Skip a step.
Ruben will go back to work here from the base.
You see it.
Zimbabwe set here. Up 3 here in the 55th.
Instruction.
Yep.
10, escort.
USA got there too
Access.
early. Zimbabwe trying to make the take back there.
Yeah, it's something you can't do anymore. It was so much a part of the game where you could kind of escort your opposition down the field to give a nice clean take for your man. You can't do that anymore. Got to move out of the way to allow a nice clean contest. Zimbabwe was on the wrong end of that call. And the U.S. has done, again, a good job getting back to simple things. Dent, try and hit another dent, try and get going forward, go back to your kicking game, forcing a penalty. Now you're in the right space. But now comes execution.
Yep. 56th minute, Chris Hilsenbeck. The kick to set him up. Klein will throw it here in the lineup from 5 meters away. Last scoring play we had was in the 28th minute. That came from Bruce Houston on the penalty goal. Last scoring for the U.S. was in the 7th.
Yeah, it's kind of felt like a stalemate, partner.
Yep.
Both teams kind of throwing punches, but not really executing in the way they need to. See if the U.S. can turn the tide on that.
Front row replacement in for Zimbabwe tied. Visser 17 came in. Up to gather, then it was Daniel Den Hoot breaks free, and Den Hoot has his first try in a USA kit. Nathan Den Hoot, the man they call Moose, touching that one down to the earth, and Charlotte in a much-needed try for the Americans. They lead it by 2.
In that instance, the Moose got loose.
He did.
Nice little shift drive on this maul here. Just shifting to the left-hand side. The Moose got loose. And dotting down a powerful 5 points. Exactly what they train every single day on how to apply the pressure at that maul to allow a free runner. And the Moose dotting down another 5 points to give the USA back the lead here. 56 minutes gone.
Yep. MLR champion with the Chicago Hounds this past year. An undefeated season. Their number 10 was this guy here, Chris Hilsenbeck. Shot clock down to 5 now for Hilsenbeck. 5 meters from that touchline. They chase after him. Hilsenbeck calmly strikes, and that one off the post. So it stays a 2-point match here, 17-15 after the first career international try from Nathan Den Hoot.
In the 79th minute, Benny, I'm going to bring it back to that kick and how potentially important that miss or that make could have been.
Yep.
Yeah.
Great
you need
point.
to allow the access. Yeah. Okay. You cannot block.
17-15 here. U.S. will get it right back.
Yeah.
3 tries last week for Scott Lawrence's side, 3 here tonight. And they've got the lead back here in the 58. Mason Peterson, his second cap in a USA Eagles kit, back in, has checked into the match, replacing Tonga Kofe.
No, release.
Tight head prop position on the right side of that front row for the Americans.
You see it.
Jack Ascaro comes out on the other side. Ezekiel Lindenmuth comes in to replace him.
Another quality clearance from Ruben De Haas. Always talking around the flight of the ball with the touch judge, trying to always get it a little extra meters. He plays that game quite well. This is where Zimbabwe needs to stand tall, get this line out right, get themselves rolling, or will be another staunch U.S. defensive set.
That's fine, play on.
Tip back, Zimbabwe able to get to it.
You see it.
Front rower in there, Tide Visser.
Okay, thank you. You see it.
Musenguini directing a little bit of traffic.
You see it.
It's a little protection there. Into the hands it goes Visser.
So you're not on the ball. You're never on the ball. You see it.
Musenguini patiently waiting. Now he'll send one skyward. Not much distance off the hands of Den Hoot. But it's knocked on. It'll go back to Zimbabwe on the restart.
By US, then by Zimbabwe. Scrum.
Musenguini just found himself leaning back a little bit too far on that box kick.
They all
Only
retreat.
got it to go about
Over
a meter and a half.
No
That's just body angle and execution. You can see him yelling at himself internally.
So we play on.
That's what all great athletes do. Gives an opportunity now for Zimbabwe to reset, figure out what type of set piece play they want to get themselves going. Again, going back to simple things. Are they just going to go a dent, or are they going to try and swing it wide and get a dent from their outside pack? Wouldn't be surprised with a reset here with a new forward pack, or sorry, new front row on both sides.
Shoulder out. Crouch. Bind. Set. Play on.
Musenguini. Carry there from Dion Gomalo, getting the start at 13. There's a carry from Jason Fraser. Musenguini back for Bruce Houston. Handled there by Gary Porter. Thought about that pass, now still with the ball. Great carry there, and a good pickup turned in by Mafura there. Deceptive, and a nice job to keep his patience and calmness there on a good carry. Looked like he had nothing. Houston, now here they come. Here comes the big man. That's their captain, Avasari. Musenguini. Edge of the 22 is Zimbabwe here in the 61st minute. U.S. back on top. 17-15.
Straight backwards, play on, straight backwards.
U.S. comes up with a great work in there. Now to Haas.
It's out, man, it's out.
Just dipped out of bounds. Looked like before the 22. As Daniel and Dom and company in there coming up defensively.
Major strip from Jason Dom. Ruben De Haas kicking himself. He really wanted that 50-22. You know, his kicking game is really something he prides himself on. His clearance kicks have been on point.
And USA number 10 off also.
Try Trying to get that little grubber through to give his team a line out inside Zimbabwe's 22. Zimbabwe didn't have a whole lot going for them there. U.S. really stood up tall. Jason Dom with an expert strip to create a really good transition moment to gain a little bit more territory.
Rosenbeck's shift has ended. Luke Carty.
How many? How many on the line of Zimbabwe? 4.
In the reserves
yes.
tonight.
Out.
Carty wearing
Out.
22.
Out. Close the gap, thank you.
More changes coming here from Zimbabwe. Line out for the Sables. Right around their 22-meter line.
Back in.
See there, Carty in, 22, replacing Chris Hilsenbeck. Carty played an awful lot last November. It's been Hilsenbeck's job here,
on the side, 18.
here in July.
So Juggler is good.
Penalty going the way of the U.S. Didn't release in time. The call against Zimbabwe.
Take a bow, Shiloh Klein. Just a sneaky little angle there before the Zimbabweans could come in and support. Just got himself in underneath. Ripped the ball, showed the really cool picture. Really good picture to referee.
Thank you.
He's now given Luke Carty an opportunity to take this lead to 5.
We're doing the water break after this.
Right into the match and right to the tee he'll go from, we'll call it 24 meters away. Carty was so big last year in the victory against Samoa and Denver that helped the United States get back into the Rugby World Cup. Through his routine. 63rd minute, strike with a right from Luke Carty, and he nails it. And the U.S. takes that 5-point lead now, 20-15 on the penalty goal kick from Luke Carty here in the 63rd minute as we have hit the second half hydration break. And Zach Test, here's what we've seen so far in half number 2.
Yeah, most exciting moment was watching the Moose get loose there. U.S. had built their way all the way down the field.
No competition.
Through some penalties conceded by Zimbabwe. Nathan DeHoot doing what he did all year long with the Chicago Hounds, operating the line out, finding a moment to use that big body. And Chris Hilsenbeck just doinks it off the upright, would have extended it to a 4-point lead, which would have made it 7 points. So right now, you can see how much the U.S. fans wanted it. And a bit of an up and down kind of first half. We've had some really cool things happen, but hasn't necessarily ended in points or tries. Something that both sides are going to really look to up their execution and kind of ruthlessness in this second half to either for the U.S. put this game away or Zimbabwe fight back like they did against Tonga and try and get their first win here at the Nations Cup.
Start out 2-0 would be huge for this USA side, and guidance and leadership from Scott Lawrence now in his 3rd season since taking the program over on the 15 side. See some of the key numbers there, the territory numbers there, specifically the penalties. 12-5, the U.S. with, what, 9 at halftime, so they've cleaned that up somewhat here in half number 2.
They definitely have, but it's definitely a number that you definitely don't want to see as a coach or a player going into review. So if they can keep it at that 12, it means their discipline's in a good place. They're not giving Zimbabwe free territory in play.
So Zimbabwe down 5, set to send it back here to the United States. And mishandled back there. Dom was back there. Now Carty up against it. But this is a major miscue here. And Zimbabwe is going to be in prime time position here after trouble handling that ball.
Jason Dom, just left foot, just slips from underneath him. Couldn't quite get a handle on it. And it does touch him, so that's why Connor Mooneyham was so excited to try and get that ball, tap it back to Luke Carty, but it just bounces into touch. Talk about a momentum and belief flip here in about 20 seconds. Zimbabwe has been really good at the line out, shored that up from last week. They found some really good tight, low moments to get going forward. They're only 5 meters out.
So here's the throw now. Trying to go low and right at it there, but Schneider did not like what he saw there from Zimbabwe. And that was Simba Mandioma.
Yeah, this is reminiscent of last week. Just not timing, not on the same page of when the throw is going to go. And Hooker takes a step, a little double pump, which is always going to be a free kick. What a pressure relief moment for the U.S.
There's the guilty party there, who was their starter last week. They changed it up with Larkin this week, and Larkin didn't disappoint in that first half. They brought him out relatively early here in the second half. And another opportunity here for Zimbabwe, another line out. Up to get that one is Porter. 5-point match here in the 65th minute. They got plenty of speed back there, offloaded to the edge. Putting on the brakes, cutting back. Mayo trying to get a hold there of the fullback, Mafura. He's got it in his hands again. U.S. getting to the ball carrier quickly. Corey Daniel sniffing out the ball carrier there. Tough carry there from Fraser. Short side of the pitch, and Mooneyham over there battling away in there for the U.S. 14. Came free, spun back by Musonguini.
Use it.
Musonguini, skyward it goes. Cardi comes up, could not gather it in. Wilson, though, able to track that one down. Klein. Now the U.S. looking to get something going. Mayo. It is a bit of a territory game here on the kick. Now Houston sends it back down for Zimbabwe. Touch finder there off his boot.
A little back and forth from both of them. The U.S. is always going to want to play the territory game, especially when they're up by 5 points. Houston looks like he's a little uncomfortable. They're going to need him, especially in these last 13 minutes, to drive this ship in the direction they need to come out with a victory.
Line out for the United States, Shiloh Klein. He'll trigger it into Denhoot. Daniel, that was up high around the neck. And that call there on Mandioma.
Yeah, Corey Daniel just trying to get low into the seam to try and find the most powerful position to get through. An unfortunate high tackle, just ringing around the collarbone in the neck area. It's a no-no. Zimbabwe giving free pressure relief to the U.S. here in the last 5 minutes. Riccardi, a much more expansive 10 than Chris Helsenbeck, has a little more tools in his back pocket. We saw a nice little chip and chase last year. We saw some cross kick action. He's got a lot of tools in his bag that he can employ.
Comes the U.S. now. See if they need any of those tools here on this passage. DeHaas to Klein. Another try would give the Americans a little bit more breathing room here. Right now, a try the difference. Converted try, of course, would have Zimbabwe on top, but the U.S. 25 meters or thereabouts. Lyndon Muth gets him a little bit closer on the carry. DeHaas, Harvey. Hard right shoulder there, delivering the blow. Carry from Lepetti, slowed up, picked up quickly by DeHaas. Sideways here on the last couple phases here, now trying to get some forward momentum. Carry there from Lyndon Muth. Now Cardi went to that boot. Zimbabwe ready, and they send it right back down under some pressure of their own right.
U.S. taking a ground and pound approach. Just from the 9, either one pass or that ball carrier just taking it Route 1 north, getting good dents, putting that Zimbabwe defensive line continually going backwards, having to organize. Cardi thought he could put a little something in behind to add a little more pressure. The Zimbabwe back three have been up to the test so far with everything Cardi and Hilsenbeck have thrown out.
Down on the turf there. That's Musa Queenie. Getting some attention there. The young man that goes to college here in the United States at Wheeling University. Giving them some good minutes here in half number 2. His 10th cap for Zimbabwe. Ben there, is that a cramp?
Looks like it. Just looks like he can't put enough weight on it. Can't put force through it. It just feels uncomfortable. It's unfortunate to see. He's had great impact on this game.
Good, young, talented player for Zimbabwe and certainly for Wheeling University. Come out of the match here, getting medical help to come off the pitch here in Charlotte. Zimbabwean fans have been tremendous. Great support tonight in Charlotte. Shawi comes in to replace Musa Queenie, who wear 22. He was inserted into the lineup at the late change when Ian Pryor came out. Bruce Houston came out of the reserves. There's a heavy, good run from Mooneyham there. Klein. Daniel in there at the breakdown helping, as always, to Haas. Lepetti. Now Bisak. To Haas from the 22. To the hands of Jason Dom. Ball went backwards, though. Daniel there. Well, it didn't go backwards, says Schneider. It's a knock-on. Goes over to Zimbabwe.
Yeah, that's 2 mental errors from Captain Jason Dom. Not usually what we see from this man. He got a little tussle on the ground with 22 from Zimbabwe. Wonder if his mind was still on that moment rather than in the present moment. US doing a good job with their big forward pack, getting good go forward. They can limit these handling errors. They're winning the handling error battle. If they can limit that. Zimbabwe hasn't really had an answer for what the US attack has thrown at them. With Zimbabwe's scrum now in the middle of the park, again, they get to choose which side they want to attack. The US is going to be in a little bit of chaos trying to defend that. With those outside backs having that kind of space, dangerous situation.
Big turnover there for Zimbabwe, trying to take advantage of it here. Less than 10 minutes to go in the match. They're down 5. 26 meters from their own line, a long way to go.
Stop. There's down on that side. We cannot play the scrum. Yes. Mark here.
Yeah, just a lot of
Bang
pressure.
on the body, not on the arm, please.
Zeke Linden moves side, that left-hand side. Good battle between him and his opposite number.
Number 7,
couldn't find the stability
7.
in that pressure, so they collapsed down and in, which forced the rest of the scrum to come down. Referee was forced to call a reset.
Keep it square for me, okay? Okay, I'm going to make sure you don't mind the arm. Yeah. Make sure you don't on the body. Okay, thank you. Okay, would you go, boys? Time will come.
Diwanashi Washu checking in there in the scrum cap for Zimbabwe. Comes in to replace Fraser at the flanker spot. A lot of time left here in a tight match here. Low scoring in this second half. Zimbabwe led 15-12 at halftime.
Set!
Win for the Americans.
18, crunking.
Win the battle in there at scrum time, and they get it right back where they
18, crunk.
knocked the ball on a minute ago.
Yeah, this time Zeke Lindenmuth wins the battle. Got his man under pressure. And his man, instead of going backwards, rips down and claps the scrum, giving Luke Carty another opportunity to tack on 3 points and put this outside of a converted try to 8 points. Exactly what you want to do. Make it a 2-score game with 8 minutes left to go. Right in front, knowing this man should be a chip shot.
I like that phrase. I use that often in this sport. And in so many ways, fly halves remind me the reserve fly halves, relief pitchers. They got to come on. They got to come on cold. They don't get a warm-up. They come on. They got to do this under pressure.
Some of the biggest moments as well, and they have to deliver.
Yep. 73rd minute here for Luke Carty, looking to go 2 for 2 off of the tee here. And as Zach said, make it a 2-possession match. Good strike from Cardi, way up high up those posts. No mistake from Luke Cardi, and the United States leads it 23-15 here in the 73rd.
Having a guy like Luke Cardi on your bench gives Scott Lawrence a lot of confidence to have a seasoned guy come in there, run the ship, knowing that when points are available, he's going to take advantage of them.
Right back it goes, U.S. to that last penalty kick, the miscue down there. This time, no miscue. Julian Roberts, the man they call Juice, is in wearing 23 now for the U.S. He replaces Tavita Lopetti. High-hanging kick. Good job by the U.S. to get there. That's Mooneyham winning another battle in there. Scott Lawrence and the Eagles right now, you want to take about a 5 or 6 minute passage down there, right? Just chew this time up. Zimbabwe with some dangerous players. That's one of them there, but Daniel threw him down to the ground. I believe that was Sigoke in there, who scored in the first half. Wilson hangs on, takes a shot, gets it down, and it sails into touch there, making a hard left turn, where Zimbabwe will take over.
A great turn of pressure from the U.S. Ruben DeHaas has been putting that ball up in the air all night long for the last 2 rounds, and he's almost at 40% retention rate, which is such an amazing weapon to have, knowing that you put the ball up. Every 1 or 2 times you put that ball up, you're probably going to get it back. That just allows so much more confidence in what you can do. Great take by Mooneyham.
Damian Schneider bringing him back over here. He saw something the officiating crew did.
Number 7, contact in there.
So we're going to look back here, see what might be the cause of this sack.
He's right. That's right.
Oh, Corey Daniel was in his space, being able to have a clean catch and then throws him to the ground. Yeah, you can see how the TMO would advise him of that. Another disciplinary issue hurting the U.S.
TMO Dan Jones catching that, so Zimbabwe still plenty of time, little less than 6 to play in the match, and they're going to have it in a very favorable spot here, well inside of the United States 22-meter. Again, a 2-possession match at 23-15, an 8-point match. They go quick up in the air off the hands of Porter. Goes backwards now. Now back for Houston. Houston playing it into the hands of Guashu.
Wait. Okay, 9 usage.
Zimbabwe getting set. Visser with a handle there. Fullback is in there running. Last 2 touches here. Mafura as their 9, gonna get in there again. Houston dummies, then plays it out. Played into the hands there. That's
You're not supporting body weight.
Mudariki.
You're not supporting your body weight.
He got a touch on it there.
Advantage from Con.
U.S. comes up with it. DeHaas sending it down. Good kick on the bounce. Scattered in by Zimbabwe. And now they'll send it back.
Keep coming back. Yeah. Take him back, boys.
Sailing into touch, and we'll see where this will be spotted. Come back.
He carried the ball back into the 22 on that kick. Great kick again by Ruben DeHaas, creating pressure. Took it back into the 22, which means he's got to keep it in the field of play. If he puts it out, the ball was always going to come back to that original spot of the kick. A little mental error there.
Hold Benny for me. Go.
76th minute here, and
okay. Good to go.
DeHaas coming out of the match, and checking in for him is Ethan McVie, his 10th cap with the United States.
No competition.
The Eagles trying to really put this one away. They get home here, could really seal the deal here.
Flat.
Afu with a carry. Big boy getting a piece of the action here. McVie. Lindenmuth. McVie do it again. Cardi. Now Wilson. Inside of the 5 goes Mitch Wilson. Inside of 4 minutes to go here in the match. Captain Jason Dom off the right side there.
Zimbabwe, take a step. Advantage offside.
USA chant going down in Charlotte. Daniel.
Take a step, boys.
Corey Daniel, couple of meters from the line. US trying to put an exclamation point on this one and get home. Schneider there, nothing yet.
He's there.
Still not in. There's Harvey trying to get home. Zimbabwe forcing him sideways.
Flat.
McVie outside, he plays it, there it is. Puts that ball right into the hands of Corey Daniel. The Eagle has landed again. Daniel, 2 matches, 2 tries, and the US has put this one out of reach.
Nail in the coffin moment. Corey Daniel, the beneficiary of it.
Marcus on the fight.
Ethan McVeigh did a great job organizing, orchestrating, recognizing that everyone's tight, getting that ball out nice and quick, putting it to his free man, Corey Daniel. Great vision from McVeigh, though. Just had his eyes up the whole time, wasn't locked in on the ball, and you can see how much that try means to him. Corey Daniel, big man, big heart.
He's such a heart and soul guy.
Yes.
He really is. 19th career cap for him. Product of the state of Maryland. Played his entire pro career here in the United States with that Old Glory DC outfit. Here's Carty, who's come on and nailed a couple of kicks, but this one just won't bend enough for Luke, and it's 28-15. The US, though, 2 minutes away from going 2-0 after the try from Daniel here in their second match in the Nations Cup.
Yeah, an exciting moment. But don't think the game is over. Don't do anything silly. 90 seconds. Catch, clearance.
It's on the chest.
Afu with another carry there. 100 seconds and counting to play in the match. Harvey coming along in his career. Just his 3rd cap with the US, debuted last November. McVie sends it up into the sky, gathered in by the Sables of Zimbabwe. First time for them in the last 2 weeks playing in any of the Americas, whether it was South, North, Central. They hadn't played anywhere on this side of the world. Big collision there, and the ball carrier, like he took a shot right in the face. Such is part of this sport at times. Back to the US here inside the final minute of the match.
Yeah, US defense has really stood tall in the second half, not allowing any points, putting Zimbabwe's attack under constant pressure with their line speed, dominant tackles, just causing absolute havoc. That's been the turn of the tide for these men in the second half. Fantastic defensive performance has allowed them to apply pressure in different ways and put points on the board.
United States. 4 points after last weekend's win. Come in here, Daniel scoring, Den Hoot scoring, Mooneyham and Mayo, so the bonus point is theirs this week for the try bonus point.
Good job.
So 5 points coming the way of the United States here.
Crouch.
In the opening year of the World Rugby Nations Cup.
Set.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Advantage.
USA advantage. Clock has hit the red. Here come the Americans. Tackle there.
Okay,
Houston in there.
Loose head, angle, standing up under pressure. Give me 10, boys.
So Schneider gets him reset here.
Jason, what are we doing? Points.
Luke Carty going to go for the points.
Give me 10,
the point
please.
differential in this Nations Cup.
That's the time, yeah.
Certainly a major part of it.
Yeah, really smart tactic. Could have kicked to the corner.
Yes, clock is there.
The clock is up. Easy opportunity to put 3 more points on. Make it a 16-point differential margin. That'll be big for them on seeding coming out of this cup into the November competition.
Try bonus points secured, but again, those points, that point differential, as we mentioned, so big. And Luke Carty on the tee again, got 2 off the tee in the penalty goal kick department tonight. Looking for the hat trick. On the way from Carty, looks good, and it is. Luke Carty with 3 penalty goal kicks here. And the U.S., not as dramatic as last week late in the match, but Carty ends the match for the U.S. The final 3 points, and they win 31-15. They're now 2-0 in the Nations Cup.
Fantastic win for the men in white. A couple of changes in their squad. Didn't hurt their flow. All 23 men impacted the game and got the job done.
Yes, they did. Corey Daniel there with some handshakes for the officials. Daniel had the 4th U.S. try, made it 28-15. Luke Carty coming in from the reserves, nailing 3 penalty goal kicks in the second half. So the U.S., Zach, you look at it this way, put your coaching hat on. I know it's always on. They didn't allow a point in the second half, and they scored 2 tries and got 3 kicks from Carty.
Yeah, their discipline was much better. They really stood up tall defensively. They made some really dominant tackles. Had some forced and unforced handling errors in the terms of Zimbabwe. Didn't give away up pens. Built their way down the field. Just did the simple things well after kind of an uneasy first half.
Yeah, it was, and they regrouped, and we'll talk with both the captains. We will talk with Jason Dahm, the United States captain. We'll also talk with Tino Tenda Mavaseri, the captain of Zimbabwe. And 2 matches for Zimbabwe here in the U.S. They don't come up with victories, but they're showing people they can play this sport. But the U.S. gets the best of them tonight, 31-15. United States a victor on this night, round 2 of the Nations Cup, 31-15. They defeat Zimbabwe, and we are pleased to be joined by the captain of the Sables tonight. First captaincy for you, Tino Tenda Mavaseri. And I know you're disappointed in the loss. What do you take away from the 2 times you got to play over here in the United States? What does this do to help your country's rugby program?
No, man, I think we are on a trajectory. There's been a really good couple of years, and we've just earned ourselves to come here. It's been a good competition. First exposure in the Tier 2 in a while. There's been great effort from the boys, but just unlucky losses.
Tino, good to speak to you. You know, you're 8,000 miles away from home, but you had a big crowd there rooting you guys on. What's it mean to you guys to have such support like you guys had tonight?
No, I mean, it was just evident throughout the whole week, the support from our fans. We really appreciate you. We really felt the support from home, even locally. A lot of Zimbos here came out from different states, and we really appreciate that. And it was really a vibe with them today.
Yeah, you said it. It was a vibe. Thanks for this. All the best to you and your program and your team, and we wish you well, and we look forward to seeing Zimbabwe in the World Cup next year. Thanks so much.
Thank you so much. Good evening.
United States 2-0 in the Nations Cup. They get 5 points here tonight. Their second win in 2 matches in the last 2 weeks. They'll look to go 3 for 3 next week against Spain. Captain Jason Dahm joining us now once again. Jason, always great to talk with you. Great start in the match. First half, not so great, but second half, you got to be pleased. You guys get 2 tries. Cardi comes on, nails 3 penalty kicks. In the end, it's a win for the U.S. How'd you do it in the second half and be so good in half 2?
Yeah, I was really just looking after that discipline. You know, we came out hot, and then we were on the wrong side of the discipline for the end of the first half, and we really felt that. You know, felt a lot of pressure from Zimbabwe, and they, you know, when they get in your end, they're brutal. So they're very physical, and they get over top you. And we knew if we could control the territory a bit more and control our discipline, we'd have a better result.
Jason, congratulations on 2 good wins. You know, not necessarily the most pretty wins. Would you put that to your guys' culture or your mindset on how you guys have overcome kind of some things that haven't gone right in games? Would that be culture or kind of the mindset of the group?
Yeah, I think for us, we're sort of happy to be under pressure. As weird as that sounds, like we'd love a pretty win, obviously, but really they're called tests for a reason. They're to keep testing the squad and keep building our connections and really grit and fight to be able to go the distance in a tough game. So yeah, obviously, you know, we'd like maybe to have it a bit smoother, but we'll keep building. Do you see kind of these hard moments as a really good learnings and preparation for Australia 2027? Absolutely. You know, World Cup's never easy. Everyone's going to be playing their A game, and you know, big stadiums, big moments. So there's going to be a lot of energy swings. So you got to be able to take those on, feel it, and then reverse it and come out the other side.
Jason, always a pleasure. Appreciate your time. Go celebrate for this evening, and I know you guys will be right back to work. We'll see you next week against Spain. Thanks so much as always, my friend.
Yep. Cheers, fellas. Thank you.
All right, Jason Dahm, USA Eagles captain. Again, second half, clean for the United States. 2 tries, 3 penalty kicks. In the end, it's a win, and a win is a win, and the U.S. is off to a 2-0 start and their best ranking in the world in 7 years. Yeah, maybe not the prettiest thing, but 2 wins in the win column is everything that you want when you start the campaign. You know, the little details, they're going to go into the review and figure out, and they're going to be a much better side when they come against Spain next week. See you next week, partner. See you next week, partner. Zach Tess, Ben Holden, Kyle Binders, our producer, and all of our outstanding crew on our broadcast here tonight for World Rugby. United States a winner over Zimbabwe. They get it done by 16 points. They go to 2-0 in the Nations Cup as they win it 31-15 in Charlotte.